order of the West Tawakoni EDC at 5:35 p.m. Would everyone rise for the invocation? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything you have given us. We ask for you to bless our city, our citizens, and all of their families. We ask you to care for those poor families who suffered the terrorist attack in Boulder this week, yesterday, and that you continue to try and take care of our country. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so for announcements today, the first announcement, as you know, is that Anchor Inn Marina and Resort is our June Business of the Month. So they are posted on our Facebook page and on our city website page. They will be hosting a jet boat race on Saturday, June 14th in celebration of the Father's Day weekend. And they'll be meeting this weekend to determine the exact time that that's going to occur. So people who want to know when that is and go and enjoy that, they need to call Anchor Inn here this weekend or early next week to get the time. Wanted to check with you, Kathy, the bingo congregate meals is still occurring this next month. So that should be on Wednesday, May 18th from 10 to 1 p.m. at the fire department, sponsored by the Senior Center Resources and Public Transit in partnership with our volunteer fire department.
I guess May is misprint. May?
Where does it say May? Yeah, that should say June. Yeah,
That's
June. Then the other announcement, and you all have this flyer with you, is I want to make sure that everybody is aware that the library is doing the quick training course Wednesday, June 18th from 3 to 5 p.m. This is going to teach people who are looking for jobs by the Workforce Commission to be able to use online tools to do job searching and to help them with their job work. And then the library had a couple more things, and I'm going to go ahead and announce them, even though they're not really EDC per se, but I think they're good for our community to know. The library is doing a summer reading program from June 7th to July 31st at the library, and you can go on their website to see when the kids can come in and what kind of reading program they're doing. And then they're also doing Super Science Saturdays for the kids. So from June through July, the end of July, they're going to have various things on Saturday for kids to do. They've got a raptor center coming in. They've got the Blackland Prairie Raptors. They've got a Super Science Experiments Crafts. June 28th, they're doing the Perot Museum Science Tech Visit. So particularly for families out there who are wondering, what do I do with my kids that are out of school if they're not doing another kind of program? The library on Saturdays will have that for the kids. Are there any other announcements from y'all?
If anybody wants to sign up for Meals on Wheels, then they need to call Connection. They can talk to Trina. She just needs their name and phone number, so they can even text that to me. We deliver meals on Fridays.
Just one day a week?
Yes. We deliver a hot meal, and we deliver 5 frozen meals.
Great service.
Yeah,
excellent for our citizens.
I love doing it.
Actually, I like doing it. I was disappointed when I could go on Friday, but my wife's, she ER sick, type of sick. My hand's out to ear.
Oh.
And I started coming down. I was like, I better not be going door to door.
Well, particularly with people who are getting meals and
yeah, like, I feel okay, but I probably shouldn't.
All right, so we'll go on to number 5, citizens input. There are no citizens here today, so that would be none. So we'll go on to 6, consent agenda. So what we need is from A through C, approval of the EDC minutes, approval of the bank statement for May, and approval of bills paid and to be paid. So I'm going to update you guys a little bit on the bills.
I was gonna say, that's the only one I need to see.
Okay. So in your packet, you'll see I gave you an estimate from Sites Welding. As we've talked about before, we have a liability hazard at the EDC property. We've got the concrete where they used to have the car wash, the old car wash. You've got 2 holes that have rusted out covers on them that people can fall in even if they're just walking, that you can't drive a car over. They're hazardous until we get insurance on the business. I'd rather somebody not fall in those and us have to be dealing with that. And before we can rent the property, we have to get that replaced. So Sites Welding is our local company that's able to do that for the least expense. They came out and John looked at it, and Joel looked at it, and he said, I've got the metal that will work. He's got thick enough that it'll cover even large delivery trucks to be able to drive over it. And to do that, that will be $640. Okay? Then on the bills paid, we've paid Sylvia her money for secretarial services. We replaced the steel exterior door for the building. The door itself cost $346.53. We had 2 estimates. That was the one from Home Depot. The door replacement from Lowe's was $328, so it was higher. So we bought the door at Home Depot, and it was installed for free by my husband. Then we made a decision last month that we were going to remove or seal off the plumbing and not do an internal bathroom to the building. To seal off that plumbing, it costs $300. John English with his company did that for us, so now we're sure there's no sewer gases going into the building. And he cut off that old rusted wrought iron pipe or whatever that was.
Whatever that was.
And knocked out the concrete, sealed it, and put a cap on the vent. But we left the pipe venting up to make sure if there's any sewer gases at all, they get vented up out of the building so everybody can stay safe. Our mowing was paid at $125. The attorney Lee is being paid $500. And then on the electrical, we had a change in the vendor that we used. So you'll authorize me to go out and get 2 bids, choose the lowest one, and select them. I contacted 5 companies. I had 4 companies respond. I got 3 written bids for the work. We accepted the lowest bid last month. It was accepted, and that was Eubanks for like $9,600 approximately. When we went to go get the permits and to pull what we needed to do to begin the work, Eubanks misquoted what it would cost to do the work to bring it up to code. So then once we got that all straightened out, what we needed and what needed to be done, they upped their price to $13,300 approximately. That's a significant increase. So I went back and I gave the other companies an opportunity to respond and to counter that, making sure that they had agreed to do the exact thing that we needed to have done to bring the building up to code. And Breaker Pro was the one that came in with the lowest bid at $13,000. So Breaker Pro has been paid their $13,000. They did amazing work. They got the permit to be able to do it. They came out and started on Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. They spent all Sunday out there with me or with my husband, all Monday and on Tuesday. So the electricity system is set up to ready to go. Now we have to get Farmers Co-op to send out a meter and hook up the electricity, and then once that's done, they'll come out and label the new breaker box and make sure everything is set up well. So they've done it, and it's passed inspection. Bureau Veritas sent their guys out and said, absolutely wonderful commercial electrical work. So we're set and good to go on that. We installed 10 ceiling lights, 6 in the south side of the building, the one 4276, 4 in the north side, and then we have 2 light fixtures on the outside by each door. And my husband and I just donated that, so we bought those light fixtures and we've installed those.
Thanks.
So you're welcome. The one on the very front building he hasn't put on yet. My husband doesn't like the screws; he wants it more set in, but that should be done by the end of this week.
When did you say I could rent it?
Donna's done a wonderful job.
I
She's
saw-
been down there.
I'll tell you, Donna, thank you so much.
I feel bad I couldn't.
Yeah,
That other check right there. The last check.
this one is just well to the welding company.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're ready for them to get paid to come in and to do that, and I'll contact him and let him know that that's done.
Beautiful.
All right, so I'd take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make that motion to approve the assented agenda.
Brett Byers, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, number 7, to take action on the profit loss statements for last month. Mary? Anything on this that?
Nothing
No?
new. Only thing I wanted to point out, since we've been kind of hot and heavy moving with the building, is that we still have $10,249.47 left to spend, and I believe that is after this one and the remainder of the Baker Breaker Pro vendor.
Okay.
Other than that, there's nothing out of the ordinary that has come out or changed.
I have a question. Are we tax exempt?
Not yet.
We are tax exempt as an EDC. We have a form that has got to be sent in for them to basically check the box that they've received the form. Mary and I have worked very hard at this. When I came into this position, I discovered that there was some previous work that had not been done. There was some forms with the comptroller's office that were not complete and turned in. The EDC did not have didn't have the correct paperwork to be able to hold the function. But I will tell you, it's just paperwork. We got all the money in, made sure they knew everything that was here. We've got the authorization letter that we are operating as an EDC. And once we do the couple of steps and then we have the exact tax exempt letter in hand, then we kind of proceed from there. But it was just kind of paperwork oversight that happened from before.
I was just gonna say, after we get that form, each person, just about each business, you have to go in and set it up separately. So if you need some help with that,
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because we will be doing that as well. So,
And for what it's worth, I didn't do a deep dive on it, but I did check my Amazon and just made sure it said West Tawakoni on it, because last time I was plugging that. It does.
thank you.
So I'm just kind of curious, we could have a couple thousand people in this town doing it wrong, but I don't think it came up that way.
We're going to get to that when we get to talk about our hard work out at the Catfish Festival. So I would entertain a motion to accept the profit loss statements for May.
I'll make a motion to accept the profit and loss statement.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous. All right, so now number 8, discuss and/or take action on EDC websites. Just an update, the website working with the city is working very well. We've got the business listed. We're getting everything posted as we need. So I don't think there's any action to take on that unless you guys have something you want to talk about.
I'm just gonna check and see if they got something right yet.
Okay.
You know, the Veritas, it always says click here to proceed. It doesn't have the.
Well, the,
Drives me crazy, I can't think.
the city's website's working really well for me now, and it's very easy to click on and to pull all of that up. And
It's working.
then Mary's doing a great job, helping set up that business of the month so it looks very nice and kind of fun.
It'll look fun. I do enjoy it.
All right, so number 9, discuss or take action regarding the West Tawakoni Economic Development Facebook page. I'm getting things posted, to the best of my ability. I'm trying to do some things live, but I'm also not, it's a business post. We're a corporation, and I don't want to be posting everything. So I try and keep it as minimal as possible, but just to let everyone kind of know when things and events take place. Such as the first responders luncheon, I think was really wonderful. Posted some pictures on that, and making sure again that everyone knows that Rancheros is being supported. And when we do those things at the chamber and we pay for that, that is something we paid for too. We paid a third, but that is something that keeps our restaurant open, and that's good for our citizens. So no actions needed on that. So number 10, discuss and or take action regarding the EDC booth and marketing materials. All right, so I want to let y'all know that the booth we had at Catfish Festival, Rhett was with me. I think it went wonderful. I was pretty excited because there were things that we did for the EDC and for the city that I didn't anticipate we would necessarily be doing. And that included having one woman who wants to start her own business out here. And so I met with her and talked her through how to do that. So she's going to do her business in West Tawakoni. We had 3 other businesses that were not listed on sites, and I got them to sign the form for us to put them on the list to be business of the month. And also got them listed, and I came in and I met with Amanda and got our business directory updated with those. And as we go through and we find new businesses, we're updating that business directory for the city. So it's a good working process. But one of the things that was brought to my attention from one of our city council members' wives, who owns a business here and is working at opening her new business, and Fat Cats, is that we have a problem with making sure that every purchase that's made in this city by businesses and by people, when you go on Amazon and you make a purchase and you have an address that's put in there, if your online purchases are coming up as Quinlan, because we share the same zip code of 75474, to be sure and manually change the word from Quinlan to West Tawakoni. She said, and I trust her on this as a business owner, she said that if you leave it as Quinlan, the sales tax on those purchases goes to Quinlan. If you change it to West Tawakoni, the sales tax comes to West Tawakoni. By bringing the sales tax to our city, we get more money to be able to pay for roads and to pay for our city services, and the EDC gets more money as well. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing as I go to each business, I've given a copy of this to you guys. I want you to also do the same. Everyone you talk to in the city, to make sure that they know to make their business websites say West Tawakoni and not Quinlan, if they're a business here in this city, and to make sure they change that name to West Tawakoni from Quinlan on all of their purchases, so that we make sure that we get the sales tax for it.
I think we need to request the post office.
Well, that would be nice, but we're not going to get it. The post office in overall is broke. They're running at a deficit in the federal government. Our post office in Quinlan has struggles that they're trying to deal with right now. It's not my place to air those, but I talked with Postmaster General about some of the issues that are going on, and there is not enough money, so we will not be getting a post office down here. But we could always dream.
Yeah.
But in the meantime,
But I think we should keep that in the back. Right now, times are crazy. Don't expect to get anything done this year.
yeah, well,
Well,
there.
I mean as far as like the federal goes.
I
No,
think
maybe.
I think they're $1 billion in arrears. So they're talking about privatizing the post office to the federal government and removing it from the government. And that's not gonna probably fly with Congress, but we're not getting a post office here. The other
Basically said the same thing 10 years ago.
The other thing that I want to make sure all of you have is the flyer. We needed to have some kind of flyer. We represent the city on the EDC. We're trying to basically sell the city to businesses to come. James Shemp had created a flyer that was preliminary, and Mary and I kind of looked at it, and I contacted him, and then I helped update it. So this is the updated flyer. But this was done quickly, like an emergency flyer to be able to have it at that booth at the Catfish Festival. By no means do I think this is a flyer that we should be going out and marketing to bring businesses in. But what I want each of you to do on this board is take this flyer home. I want you to look at it, come up with ideas that would improve it. Mary, look for the city's current logo because I believe this is an old logo. We'll get the current logo on it. And I'd like all kinds of ideas. Until then, what I did was just to let you know, this is what was set out on the table so that when people came up, they could see. And again, another great win. I ended up with a whole handful of people who were visiting, who had just stopped by and had never been in our city before. And they stopped. They looked at this, they read about it, they looked at the map, they talked about what was going on, and then I was able to tell them about things like we're having the jet boat races on in June, and to rent our RVs there in the city park and to rent the RV spaces down at Anchor Inn. I also let them know that I think we're having an event on the 4th of July weekend out at the city park where there'll be jet boat races, jet ski races. And I also had the city's forms for renting the RV park and for renting tent ground spaces. So I handed those out to people who hadn't been here before, and I encouraged people to bring their RVs, which, by the way, on Memorial Day weekend, it was wonderful. The RV park was full. It was rented. Everyone was having a great time. So that's part of what we do, too, is to bring them in. And then because we don't have any posters or logos or anything else, even though we did in the past, this is what I created to set out on the table. And so that brings me to the next question, not today, but I'm going to ask you guys on this board, as you're looking through this and making suggestions to change it and update it, I want you to also be thinking, what do we need to purchase and how much money do we need to put in our budget when we start the budget workshops here in June to be able to have some proper advertising for a booth and for the city. We used to have large poster boards with an EDC logo and the name on it. That was back before Linda Kattner was president. None of those materials exist anymore. We have enough of the old EDC cards. I don't think we need to change the cards. I've got boxes of these. So let's
Never
not,
seen this before.
we don't want to waste any, I don't want to waste a penny.
Can I see them?
Yeah, we have that.
Is this something we could put over here in the lobby with all of our other ones?
Sure.
Be helpful to give out to businesses and as they're setting up commercial
That's
accounts.
a clear label, type a name and then.
Well, these have worked just fine. I don't think we need to redo these, but
Well,
what we do need to do, I want y'all to just be thinking, because on the next month's agenda, I'm gonna ask for ideas. What do you want? And I'm gonna have a list. Do we wanna have some pins made that have City of West Tawakoni on them? West Tawakoni EDC on them that we have at booths? Because at some point, I want us to take this to various locations in Dallas and North Texas where these businesses all meet and encourage them to consider bringing their business here to this city. Do we want to go ahead and have 2 large poster boards kind of done again so we can set it up in front of wherever our booths may be set up? Do we want to have, I took out my little canopy tent that we could sit under. We want to order one like that that says, City of West Tawakoni, come to the lake, Catfish Capital, something like that, so when people are walking by, they can see from the top of it who we are. So we don't need ideas tonight. I want you to spend time thinking about it, and we're gonna address that at our next meeting and make some decisions.
Do want to mention that we do have a line within this current budget for marketing and promotion. I don't know, but if there was a plan for that, it's $2,000. So we could potentially do something this budget year to
Okay,
get through maybe the summer events and things going on.
awesome.
We've got, what was the other one? Oh, and then Jam Fest, which is not Jam Fest, so I don't know what $1,000 was planned for on that one. But there's another 1,000 for advertising.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, my understanding from Tracy Travers is we had given, it was in the budget to give money for Jam Fest, but that was hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce is not hosting this. The Travers family are doing this on their own. And he said they were not gonna be coming to the EDC for any sponsorship of that. So they said they had that covered. All right, so there's no action needed on that. Then number 10 is, I put it on here so we would have an opportunity to go and have an executive session to discuss the property, but there's not anything to discuss in executive session. You guys are up to date on that, so we're not gonna do that. And then number 11, future agenda items, the budget workshop date to be announced. Mary's got to.
We've got our first budget workshop for council on Tuesday before our regular session that was rescheduled for that. So that'll be at 6 o'clock
Tomorrow?
next Tuesday. We're not planning to discuss EDC at that time because I want to give EDC time to kind of plan the budget workshop as a group. So the next meeting will probably be setting at council for the next workshop, which will probably include EDC in it.
Okay, sounds good.
So we probably should plan one for either between this month and next month, or plan to talk about it at next month's meeting to kind of go over what y'all want it to look like.
All right, so be thinking about that too as you're looking at updating our marketing materials and what we want to purchase, want to do. And, look over, and next meeting, I will have some work to start on that at that meeting. All right,
Yes,
so that's it. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
wow.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wow,
As soon as that camera goes off, they're gonna.
that's what I call a good meeting.
Thank you.